welcome to our Plugs Community Connection. I am your host, DJ Kitty Cat, with my sister co-host, Miss Morningstar on WKRA 92.7 FM The Change. If you're looking for the best in news, current events, community outreach programs, and shopping connections, you've come to the right place. We've got a great mix of content and community connections lined up for you this evening, along with special guest interviews. So, grab your favorite drink of choice, turn up the volume, and let's get into it.
Good morning, WKRA 92.7 The Change. It is your morning host and co-host, DJ Kitty and Miss Morningstar from Our Plugs, a Community Connection. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Today is Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. It is Wednesday. A couple more days until the weekend, and it is a holiday weekend. Thank goodness. Oh my goodness, we need this break. This is the mid-year break that we all need. So I hope everyone had a good night's rest. You have, at least it's 9 o'clock now, so you should have your drink your water. 16 ounces. Remember, we are on our at least 16 ounces of water kick every morning. And you've had your breakfast, something delicious to eat, maybe some toast and some fruit, maybe some oatmeal, some grits. I had some yellow grits over the weekend. They were different, but anywho. They were.
You ain't like them, really.
I did not. I'm used to the white grits. I didn't know. I thought it was a bunch of butter. But anywho, come on in, sit down. We've got some things to talk about. We are going to talk about what's going on in this country. Sometimes I think it's just wacky. And then sometimes I'm like, whoa. But at all times, I'm like, okay, I'm here. But before we get started, let's go ahead and get these affirmations out of the way. We need some positive affirmations, some breathing in and breathing out to happen as soon as possible. So come on in, and we get that from our affirmation queen, Mrs. Morningstar. And
the affirmations I chose today is when you feel lost.
Yeah.
In life. Because right now, I know it's a lot of us that kind of like, which direction are we going to go? Like, this world is absolutely insane. It is. It feels like we're in the upside down world.
Twilight
Zone. And this is Mental Health Day. Exactly, Kitty. And this is Mental Health Day. And I sure could use some good affirmations.
Man,
to get my Wednesday hump day, because I love hump day. But to get my Wednesday going, But I came across these affirmations and I said, hey, let's talk about it. So affirmations when you feel lost. You may have something, you may say something, I don't have to know the end of the destination to take a step today. So it's normal to feel constrained pressure, and it's not sure exactly where you're going and what's the end result you're aiming for. It's a process, but you have to be ready to take that initial step. Mm-hmm. When you're unable to see the whole map, it's okay to just take one step. And when you release the need to know where you're headed, you can focus more on what you need and want in that moment. I thought that was really good. Yeah. I'm not lost. I'm in a sacred season of searching. So I'm not lost. I'm in a sacred season of searching.
Okay.
A good reframe, when you got to reframe, I think we talked about this with the coaches. Sometimes you got to redo it, start over and kind of reanalyze what you got going. Takes on traditionally, it could take on a negative view sometimes when you feel like you're lost. But actually it's something that's more positive because now you have the opportunity to restructure and reframe your direction. So don't take it as a negative, turn it into a positive. The person I'm becoming still belongs to the people I've lost. I know we feel that. Today is grief day,
Yeah.
and we're talking about grief, but not in so much of a way that you guys may imagine. But many grievers tell themselves stories like all is lost, everything has changed, or nothing will be the same again. And while those stories have some measures and truth in life after loss, it's not starting from nothing. Even when you feel lost, the person that you're right now is made up of all the things, the people you love, and the version of yourself that got you to this point in life. You
I like
have a foundation, you have memories, you have lessons, you have wisdom, and it's right at your disposal. So moving forward does not mean forgetting, it means bringing everything and everyone with you.
I like that.
I love that.
Yeah, because you don't want to feel like you've lost everybody. You want to feel like
Exactly.
me
But
too.
everything you
Moment.
retain,
Yes.
memories,
Yeah.
of people you love, it
Hmm.
goes with you everywhere. And you can keep talking about it to different people because it's always going to be with you, right?
I can dig it. I can dig it.
One day I'll understand that I was growing even here, even now. So this is even through grief, we are growing and we are continuing on. It's like a episode of your favorite show. You always
Mhm.
reinventing the wheel and reinventing yourself. So always keep growing, never stop your growth, and focus on stability, planting roots, making new friends, better relationships with friends and your spouse, setting up boundaries around your heart and protecting your heart. That's protecting your heart.
That's
And
very.
consider your future that someday you're gonna flourish, and it won't be always it won't always be that the same way. So I
Yes.
thought these were pretty cool. I came across them and I was like, yeah, I want to talk about these. So that's pretty much the affirmations for today, y'all.
I will receive all of this and continue
A little different, but
they are different, but today's topic
yeah.
is different, and it's actually needed. And initially, like I was telling you behind the scenes, I was like, "Oh my goodness, I don't want to talk about this," but I think it's needed, and the way that we're going to present it, it's a lot different. So I'm with it.
And
Uh,
yeah, and we gotta to realize everything happens in a season.
mhm.
So it's only for a season. It's not forever. And
Yeah,
some things are forever, but you only feel that way in that moment, that season. And then you continue to move forward and you continue to do better. So
I received that.
yeah.
I want to say hey to our YouTube guest out there.
Hey, hey, y'all.
Thank you guys for showing up. I truly appreciate you. We truly appreciate you. Always showing up and showing out. So we appreciate it and keep coming. Let's see. Let's go ahead and hop into this weather. Now, yesterday, me and Miss Morningstar was basically ducking and dodging from thunder. And,
Yeah.
we were about to get off and go get up under the house. In
In the
the closet.
closet. In the closet.
And today, it's hot. And when I say hot, I need the people up north. I know y'all are experiencing some heat. You don't experience heat until you're down south. It's a different kind of heat. It's heat and humidity. And yeah,
I got in my car yesterday, it was 103.
yeah, yeah.
And I thought, maybe because the car been sitting, it's 103. It
Mm-mm.
stayed in the 100 all the way till I got home.
Yeah,
Then it went to 99, tricked me for a minute, and went back up to 100.
yeah, yeah. It's welcome to Houston. Hot as hell, Houston. So we'll start with Holly Springs, of course. Holly Springs, you have a high today of 90, a low of 67. It's going to be sunny and cloudy with a 8% chance of rain. Winds are to the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it's a sunny and cloudy remix, hot. Okay? Humidity will be 58% in the morning and 81% in the evening, muggy. Mosquito risk is severe. So bugs are out. So it's hot. No, not only is it hot, you got to fight the bugs if you step outside because they're out
Mm-hmm.
and they're hunting you. Uh, Grass pollen and ragweed pollen are very high. So your allergies, so heat, mosquitoes, allergies, and then tree pollen is low. Air quality is good. So I know folks up north, you guys are like, oh, it's so hot. Did you hear what I just said? We got the heat, we have humidity, we have the critters, and the pollen in the air.
It ain't right, y'all.
It ain't right.
It
It ain't
ain't
right.
right.
Memphis, come on, Memphis. You decided to act up today and do 91 degrees in the during the morning and daytime, and 71 this evening. Partly cloudy, which means you may have about five or six clouds that may pop up and psych you out. And you think that, oh, we don't know. Still gonna be hot. Winds are to the north 5 to 10 miles per hour with a 7% chance of rain, which means that no, it's not gonna rain. Humidity in the morning is 54%, evening 74%, muggy. Mosquito risk again is severe. Critters, grass and ragweed pollen very high. Tree pollen is low. Air quality is good. Over it. I don't even want to talk about Houston.
Finished and done, y'all. It's too hot.
Houston gets on my last nerve. I love living here, but I only have two pet peeves: the heat and the traffic. Come on in here, Houston.
Hey, Queen. Welcome in.
We have a high today of 95 and a low of 78. I'm sick of y'all.
And I think they be trying to trick us because when I come out, it be more than what you be saying 95. It be higher.
Well, the heat index.
Okay.
So these are the temperatures. Heat index is probably, if it's going to be 95, it's probably going to be about 103.
Yeah.
104.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Can't breathe.
Yeah, can't breathe. Low is at 78 today. Cloudy and sunshine remix. So it's going to be clouds, a few clouds and then the sun, and a few more clouds than the sun. So it's a remix.
Yeah.
Winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles per hour. Thank goodness we do have the wind, the breeze, although it's blowing hot air. 8% chance of rain. Humidity in the morning is at 59%, evening 78%, muggy. Mosquito risk is very high. Critters everywhere. They need to spray day and night. They only spray
Yeah,
at
they
night.
need. I haven't heard them come down the street yet. They need to hurry up because they coming. We had a lot of rain.
We've had a lot of rain, and we have a lot of water in our lakes, in our man-made lakes, and we have a lot of lakes in Houston, so the critters are out. Grass pollen is low, ragweed is medium, and air quality is moderate. Welcome to hell. There is no rain in the forecast over the next few days, so at least
get a little break.
The holiday will be hot and everybody will be hopping in the pool. We have a big celebration here at my pool and I cannot wait. I'm going to go get my little water guns and they have these little water balls that you can throw and you put them back in the pool and they fill back up. I'm gonna my grandsons, I'm gonna do them in. But yeah, we're gonna be in the pool all weekend because what is going on?
Hot. It's hot.
Hot. It's very childish and very.
Where you cool off. Try to at least.
Over it. But at least we're here. Or whatever. Now, let's go ahead and hop into this news you can use.
A little bit of news.
Big ugly bill. America, I don't know what's worse. The fact that we elected, let me rephrase that. Some of y'all elected a felon to be the president, or the fact that here, Project 2025, what is it?
60%? 40%.
40% of it has been implemented.
Mm-hmm.
We try to tell y'all.
Cut your nose off, spite your face. They don't care. They don't care that they're harming themselves.
Don't care.
They don't care that this bill is definitely going to affect the rural areas, red states, way more than it will any blue states and people who live in the inner city. You're taking hospitals, and you're taking food vouchers away from children, medical care from your mima, your papa. You're gonna have to move them into your trailer park now. I mean, you're gonna you hurting yourself. And I hear them on there on social medias, and they bragging, they ha
And
ha
laughing,
ha.
they so happy.
They don't even
It's like they have no
understand
clue.
who they hurt. Who they hurt. They don't even. They think that in their mind again. They're being duped again, because in their mind, just like they thought that they were gonna hurt us by doing some of the things they do, like, attacking our civil rights. We don't care nothing about that. We still gonna do our civil rights thing. What? Who gonna check us? Nobody. But they think they hurting us, but in reality, y'all are the ones that receive the most social benefits.
You
You're
know,
hurting yourself.
social programs. I think it's 59%.
Yeah, it's high.
Fifty-nine
All the
percent of
social
people,
programs.
yeah, of the social program. So it's not us that will be directly affected. I'm quite sure
And we
there will
will.
be
And
some,
some
of
of our
course,
people will, but we take
yeah.
care of each
But
other,
we take care
actually.
of our people.
We do.
We don't have a problem. I mean, we
Most of the
don't
time, we'll have
typically,
our parents living
yeah,
in nursing homes.
nursing
They
home.
come live with us.
Well, now, surprise, surprise, your parents will be living with you as well, because that Medicaid and Medicare, no, they're not going to take it away. What they're going to do is they're going to close those facilities. Those facilities are funded through Medicaid and Medicare, as well as you getting it individually. So if those facilities can't afford to keep their doors open because they're not getting that federal funding, guess where your mima and your papa is coming to live? With you. And guess when, say your Mima or Papa needs physical therapy, or they need wound care.
Ooh.
Medicaid and Medicare, they're not going to pay for that. They don't.
Wound care ain't no joke, y'all.
Wound care is,
I'm gonna tell you, I work packing those wounds. I worked in a facility for years. I didn't do it, but I smelled it and I seen it, and it's no joke.
yeah, home health care is on the chopping block. So, those of you who are, out there and you're just as upset as we are, we get it. And that's why we're here. That's why we're trying to connect us to the resources that we need in order to make sure that our people will be taken care of. But those of you who are cheering and saying, ah ha ha, and they did it because illegals are
Liberals, you
on the,
cry, and all
yes,
this weird stuff.
they took away they had to do it because illegals are getting Medicare and Medicaid. Let me explain something to you. You're so concerned about illegals getting Medicaid and Medicare, but do you realize that we pay Israel? We pay for their health insurance. They don't pay for that. They get free health insurance. We pay for their education. They don't have student loan debt because America pays for that. So why are you not upset about Israel getting a free ride, but you're upset about people who contribute directly to this country getting the assistance that they need?
Just, just like powerful Black women just stated, the ones with the hatred in their hearts will suffer this time around. History is repeating itself, but it's not going to go the way you think it's going to
Oh
go.
well.
They're going to be the ones. I heard one of the senators say the most unempathetic thing
And
that a
no,
woman could say. She thinks she's Alaska. She
yeah,
said, I hate the bill. I hate the bill. But she voted yes.
but she voted yes.
Because her constituents will be fine. But everybody else is screwed. And she said it.
How, I'm sorry, who's to say her constituents will be fine? How does she know? Because Alaska doesn't get any favors. They're under the same bill that we're under. So, okay, she's
No
telling her
empathy,
that.
because they're basing this off the rule. They know it's gonna affect those in the rural areas, y'all. Just think about it. Who go to those Trump rallies? Where do he do them rallies at? Who come out to see him the most? Who supports him the most? Rural areas, Ohio rural areas, Texas
Texas.
rural areas, Mississippi rural, the rural areas. Most of the time when you're in the inner city, those are blue. Those cities are blue.
So
We got
basically,
private insurance, a lot of us.
yeah, most of us have private insurance, but basically, he is actually hurting his base. Surprise,
It's
surprise. And in the meantime, him and his homegirl Elonia, they are at it again, fighting.
another
You
girl fight.
know, another girl fight, scratching out, and Elonia, I dare you to go pull his wig off. Anywho, um, Elonia, the man with the dead hand, said that he's thinking about it. It would be great if, wouldn't it be something if Doge deported Elon? Wow. So
He
now,
said, yeah, we're gonna have them look into you.
oh well,
Two
oh well. But
narcissists could never work together. And
they
that was the
can't.
problem from the beginning. They are two narcissists and they can work together.
They
They
cannot.
weren't gonna make it last forever, y'all.
They think that they were make it last forever, holding hands. But we'll see what happens. Only thing else I was going to talk about was Jimmy Swaggart. He passed away yesterday.
Oh.
Uh, and then Iran, as I heard around the way that they're back up and working on their nuclear assets. So it was performative. None of it
Told
actually.
them they was just set back a few months. That's it.
Not even a few months, a couple of weeks, because they're back. They're back in action. Anywho, what do you have, sis, before we go to break?
Before we go to break, so the man with the dead hand went to Alligator Alcatraz today. I was hoping somebody tripped him and he fell into the pits of hell and to not return, but that did not happen. So I was praying on that thing and it didn't happen. I'm so sorry. He's still here. But anyhow, yeah, he went to Alligator Alcatraz. They are celebrating to be people who claim to love the Lord. They are literally praising a death trap to put people in. And even the supposed to be commander in chief made a comment, we'll teach them how to zigzag run and they'll have about a 1% chance of making it. How evil can you get? This is supposed to be y'all commander in chief, okay? Y'all president saying things like that about human beings that's done nothing to him.
Nothing.
So they were all excited. They loved
Do
this.
you
I
know
mean,
these tents are outside and it's Alligator Alley, and
mm-hmm.
these are tents with cages on the inside. Don't get me wrong, they're cages or
And
white
snakes
tents
too. They're
with
gonna
snakes,
they are excited to
and
put
it's
people
and it's in
there.
the hurricane path.
Yeah. They're excited. They're just thrilled. They're thrilled and just elated that their Christian values taught them that's how you treat humans.
Christian values.
So
Is that the white Jesus or it's definitely not the black Jesus. It must
I
be.
don't know. Yeah, that's their Jesus, because that ain't definitely ain't the one that I learned about. And just on some good news, real quick, y'all. It's a for my people in Memphis. Come out and support this young diva, beautiful queen. We have a black hairstylist of 30 years. She launches a personalized hair coaching services on Zoom and in person. Her name is Angela Brown, a well known entrepreneur and hairstylist from Memphis, Tennessee. She has been in the beauty industry for over 30 years, specializing in hair care, because that's what we do. From the beginning of time, we knew how to take care of our hair, y'all.
Of
And
course.
she has created a blueprint for restoring hair loss caused by conditions like alopecia and damaged hair, chemical broken bonds, things like that. So she has a market. I want to reach out to her and invite her to our plugs, and maybe she'll come
Absolutely.
on and set up some consultations. Tell us how to treat our natural hair, and give us some tips. And we're gonna celebrate her. She made it on a magazine and she doing big things. So shout out to her.
Absolutely. That's good news. Good news.
Yeah,
That's
good
good news.
news.
We do have some good news. I will say this: the verdict is still out for Diddy. We'll find out, you know, by this weekend. Yeah. You are listening to Our Plug, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We'll be right back after this
You
quick
know, it
commercial.
can be
Quick commercial
happen.
break. Why you gotta act up? Hey, it is what it is. Take that. Take that.
Take that.
Opa May Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opa May Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day.
And I'd like for you to do one more thing for me. Hold up two fingers. This is you, and this is me, and the space that exists between us should be filled with value.
Equal, a global human initiative, and its value identity model.
And we are back. Again, you are listening to Our Plugs, the Community Connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. You know, we do a lot of joking around and all that. We laugh to keep from crying if y'all want to know the truth. But, you know, good luck to Diddy, you know. I mean,
He needed though. He
he's,
needed.
because
Cause it
serious.
ain't looking great.
It ain't looking
It
good for
ain't looking too good. Yeah. Mama Janice.
allegedly Miss Janice. But my thing is, well, let me say this. Did you see what Miss Janice had on yesterday? That green and white? I
Yeah,
loved
it was
it.
cute. It was
You should
cute.
get one outfit like that into the boutique. I
I
like
think we
that.
can find us one of those because that
Like
was
that.
cute. I saw
It was
that.
really
Miss
cute.
Janice ain't gonna need it no more. Allegedly.
Stop it. Allegedly.
I hope she don't snatch that wig off like Dee said. And I understand though. If she do, it gets hot with them wigs on. Sometimes you gotta. And
I don't
she,
know. I've never had put a wig on.
you ain't never wore a wig. Oh well, I'm gonna tell you this. It gets hot. And sometimes you be in the car, you just snatch it off because you can't take it no more. Especially living in Houston. That's why I stopped wearing them here because it's too hot for
Well,
all
yeah.
that.
Yeah. No, I
Snatch that thing off in a minute, baby. You would, because you have hot flashes. You wouldn't be a deal.
baby, that's
That
probably
wig
why
will
I never,
come off
yeah, I believe you.
onto the floor.
The only people I feel sorry for with the entire Diddy situation are his daughters. Those are
Yeah, his
the only.
daughters. I mean, I don't know. They could be some little demons, but I don't know nothing about them. But besides, they was Kim's the girls, and
And then there's the
it's
twin.
another girl
There's
too,
another
right?
young lady, and she
Yeah,
spoke
it's
out.
two other young girls. It's the baby.
Oh, and the
I
baby.
feel bad for the baby. She ain't even
Me
had a
too.
chance.
And the one, not the twins, but the other daughter, she says she's going to change her last name because she doesn't want to be associated with her dad. That is so. Can you
Did
imagine?
she?
She spoke out on social media. She's hurt. I mean, I would be hurt too. Like, Dad, what are you doing?
That's
You know?
nasty. Because it's too much. Whichever way this goes, he's ruined.
Yeah. He's got like
He will
79.
never be looked at the same. He will never have that same fame. He won't be invited to probably any of the awards. Like he will not be Puffy ever again because people know too much. It has all been aired out.
The thing about it is the folks in Hollywood, they've been knowing. It's just the public
But
didn't.
now it's everybody know.
We didn't know.
So now that we
I would
know,
have never
they
even thought
can't
about that.
associate themselves with somebody like that, even though they knew he was doing it.
Yeah.
They knew he was sick. Some of them might be sick too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised, but
I think they're going to make an example out of him because I'm quite sure he's not the only one that has done things nefarious. And why? Here's my thing, okay? We live in a country where Black people, Black men and Black women were degraded to the lowest form, our ancestors. And then you have the opportunity to use your gift, and this is what you do.
Don't know. He don't know his history. I guarantee you, he don't know nothing about who
We
his
are.
West African family is. He don't know.
We're kings and queens, and then you fed into this white tea supremacy, this sickness, and here we are.
And
So
it is sickness.
it
It's
is
their
sick.
sickness because this is not what we typically,
No, we
we
don't
don't
do
do.
this.
It's not a thing, but
No.
it's because bad association spoils useful habits in your life,
Ooh, you
and
better say that.
you associated yourself with some bad seeds. You got caught up in some bad things. You took some bad substance, and it made you a for real bad boy,
Yeah.
and no pun intended.
And it's not cute. You could have always said no. You didn't have to be like this. Your talent should have stood by itself, but you
But
know,
you had those. It's in here though. It's, and something got messed up in there because the way that we learned of the things he was doing is sickening. Who would think of those things? Who would enjoy those things?
who would enjoy it? This nasty. What are we doing? Exactly. That is disgusting. I'm sitting here reading some of the transcripts. I said I can't even read this.
I quit reading them. I couldn't
I
take it
can't
no
read
more.
this. I don't even want this type of nonsense in my brain. I don't even, because I
I
would
couldn't
never
take it no
even
more.
think about doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
But good luck to you. Let's go ahead and bring our folks
Yeah,
up.
let's bring our crew up and get the crew on stage. Woo. It's getting heavy.
Little heavy.
Just don't stomp on the wig, y'all. Just don't
Ooh.
stomp on it.
I done had a few I wanted to stump on because
Snatch
it
it
was
off,
hot.
but don't jump up and down on it. Don't do that.
Scared of wigs. I'm scared of wigs.
Sometimes you just push it back for a little ventilation. Just push it back a little bit. Let a little.
Get a little
Lift it
air
up
in
and
there.
get some air. Put it back down.
I've seen somebody's wig come off before. And
That's
that
my
was one of
fear.
the reasons why I was like, I'm never going to do that.
That's my fear.
I done snatched mine off in public. So what? I'm hot.
In public? Stop it, Miss Morningstar.
And who gonna do something about it?
Don't check me, boo.
Nobody trust me.
At all.
After you snatch it off, people.
And then
After you snatch it off, you
and
strike
then
fear.
and then put it back on and went about my business.
Oh, you struck fear in the hearts of all who saw, all who
Probably.
witnessed that. Oh, I would have been afraid.
Lift it up just a little bit and then fan it.
Get some air in there. Yeah, some ventilation. I had some real cute wigs. Now I still got them, baby. I put them on.
I mean, I love that about
Oh, Lord.
so versatile. We can do so much, but the fact of the matter is, Miss Morningstar, you snatched it off in public.
And I did in my car too. It was hot.
It was hot. Okay.
I was in Texas. I ain't,
wow.
I was like, whoa.
You was brave to put it on.
Okay.
Well, I was new to
In
Texas. I was new.
Surprised it didn't slide off.
And that boy started. I was like, you know what? You got to come. You got to go. You got to go.
Right now.
Right now. There it is. Right now. We'll talk about it later.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, mercy.
Does your husband know you did this? Or were you by yourself?
He probably do. He just shake his head. He know I'm crazy.
I don't think he would be surprised.
Huh?
I don't think he would be surprised.
Right. Nikki
no.
She know me very well.
You know you
People
don't play no
me.
games.
And my husband, he do too. He just shake his head at me and be like,
"Here you go."
Mine does that a lot.
I got it. You got to give me his phone number. We got to build a support group.
Like, y'all, she gonna do what she gonna do.
Husband support group.
All right. So today,
oh Lord.
So Nikki, you are moderating today. So what is grief is the topic. Actually, you're moderating all month long. So let you start. You kick it off. I'm gonna go on mute. If we can all go.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna go on mute. Y'all come in and hop in as you feel. Go ahead, Nikki.
All right. So I'm super excited to talk about grief. And I know that sounds like an oxymoron, but I feel like right now in the country, we all are kind of collectively grieving. And I feel like even out, internationally, people are grieving with us. So I'm going to talk about grief and what it looks like in regards to loss, not to death and dying. Because most of us think about death and dying when we think about grief, but there's more than just death and dying where we experience the same symptoms. So like just loss in general. So that's what we're going to kind of go through today. So it can trigger.
Uh-oh, I think she may have got a phone call.
And
Ooh, I
she
hate
said
when
she
that
put it
And
on do not disturb, but
and we
it
lost
does it,
Nikki.
and it doesn't matter. Even when I put mine on do not disturb, you know what I have to do? I learned I have to put it on airplane mode, and then the phone calls can't come through. But
really?
that's ridiculous. But that's my phone is connected to my
She
tablet. That's why it does that.
You made it back, Nikki?
She's trying to get back. There she is. There she
Okay,
is.
Can
I'm
y'all hear
back.
my thunder?
It's
No.
no.
Oh,
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I'm on do not disturb, but that did not work. Sorry. So we're just gonna jump right into what is grief. So I want to just talk about like loss. So like some examples of what that looks like is getting a divorce, losing a friendship, losing a job, um, having some medical issues that where you might end up in a wheelchair. So you're not being able to walk. You're losing something there. Losing democracy. People probably feel like we're losing our democracy right now. So that's a huge, loss for a lot of us that we might be sharing. Um, just anything that you can losing insurance because this big beautiful bill that just got passed. Losing entitlements. So it's all about losing something versus death and dying. So that's kind of what we're talking about.
That sounds good. So I had to put people you guys on mute because we got a message that it sounds far or muffled. So I just want everybody to be able to hear, hear on the radio. You're good. You're good. We'll have to switch. But it's good that we are having this conversation, especially now that, it seems like people will be losing more than they ever thought that they would. Reggie, did you want to hop in there or Mrs. Jack? Either one of you? Okay, so
of
first of
course.
all, y'all are on mute. Okay, there you go. There you go.
I had to remember that before I started yapping. Um, I I like how she said that because we do. We're about to lose some things, and we've already lost some things, and people need to prepare themselves. I relate it to grief as far as losing a loved one that is sick because you can see it coming. They don't pass suddenly. You see the process, and that's what we're doing right now with the bills and the way the government is being run. We're seeing it play out in real time, so we're actively losing something, and we have to prepare ourselves for that. And some people, you just can't prepare for what you may lose, partly because we don't know what exactly people are going to lose. We just know there's going to be some loss, so it's just a scary feeling, so people have to prepare for the fear.
Absolutely, absolutely. And not only prepare for the fear, but how do you recover is my question. Once people do recognize that, okay, I'm going to lose XYZ, how do you recover from that? What's going to be put in place? And
Well,
that's the questions. Go ahead, Reggie.
that's kind of a part of the work that I've been doing because, what is inherent to loss is pain, right? All the things that we're pointing to, there's a pain factor that happens when those perceived losses incur. And another part of that, and Nikki, you can kind of speak to this as well, is that a lot of what we perceive as losses are directly connected to how we see ourselves. Okay. Losses. So then I'm losing, my value. I'm losing how I perceive and see myself as being valuable. I don't have this job or this or that anymore. So how do I internalize that? And so the work that I've been doing with value identity is in helping people to understand that your value is not a variable. It is not determined. Who you are and how valuable you are as a human being is not determined by external circumstances or external opinions or anything that is outside of you. It is literally the design that you possess, that you live and breathe, that has been, coded in you by nature. And that is not a variable. It is a constant. And so I think that as we venture, as we stand on the threshold of what we're facing, I think that it is imperative, because what has been happening in society as a whole is that when we see all of these problems, racism and gun violence and all these things that are happening, we're putting different labels on it. But what it is essentially is people who are in pain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're experiencing some type of lack or some type of loss, who are pouring their pain out onto each other. And now we're looking at experiencing even more pain or even more perceived loss. And so I think for us to be able to navigate through this and not to basically self-destruct, and in doing so, destroy each other, we really need to focus on, our value and why that exists and what those components are made of. And I'll go on mute now.
Okay. And those, all of you actually have hit on a lot of stuff that we're going to actually talk about. So it's like, what does grief look like? What can I do? And maybe a few myths if we have time. So, as part of what does it look like, there's Elizabeth Kubler-Ross came up with 5 stages of grief. And so I like to talk about grief in terms of that, because even with the loss of things, objects, and not just people, you still go through the same grief patterns. So the first one is denial. And with denial, some of the emotions that you might have when experiencing that is avoidance, confusion, elation, shock, and fear. So it's that initial, like, what just happened, right? Or maybe you're avoiding it and you're kind of not living in the now, and you don't want to deal with it. You don't want to experience, those emotions that come with that. So you're not really trying to, stay in that moment. You're not thinking about that right now. Yeah, that happened, but, I'm going to go over here and do A, B, C, and D. I'm not going to deal with that right now.
I feel like that's exactly where MAGA is at. When we were on on Mrs. Jack's live yesterday, we dealt with a lot of people coming in who were like, "Oh yeah, the bill passed," and they were happy about it, knowing that this bill is going to affect them.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect all of us, some more than others. Like we all of us have independent health care. So it's not as if, we have to depend on Medicare or Medicaid. None of us have children who are getting government assistance, but that we know people who are. And the statistics will tell you that the majority of the people who are getting funding government assistance from uh, the government are typically MAGA, and
Yeah.
they are the ones who are going to be directly affected. But instead of them accepting and understanding that, hey, it's going to affect me, they're in denial, like, oh no, it's good. They're still holding on to hope and the lie that
Mm-hmm.
it continues to tell them.
And I feel like that is the fear.
Right.
Like, because I was thinking before you went into what you were saying, given the different levels to this topic, denial was where I was heading to, Kitty, because of what we heard. Because they will deny. They'll deny. Within the back of their brain is fear, because they know they're recipients of this care, and there is a slight chance they may be affected by this. So a lot of times it seems as though people don't know how to unpack their fears or their denials. Like, they don't know, like when some people lose their job, and it brought me back to what Ali had said in our show the other day. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
The I'm good comment, the one comment, how you doing? I'm good. are you really? You just lost your job,
Right.
you know?
And
Yeah.
a lot of it too, Miss Morningstar and DJ Kitty, is that your choice, okay, is directly connected to how you perceive, again, your own, your own worth. Okay. So if I made a choice, I'm gonna rock with that choice until the wheels fall off and be in denial and whatever it is I have to do. Because if I admit that my choice is wrong, then I have to admit that I am wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that I'm invalidating.
Yourself.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why they fight tooth and nail
That's the
to
part.
hold on and to no matter what and all this kind of stuff, is because it's a component where we internalize, and the last thing that we desire to do is to say that, I'm really maybe I'm not the person that, you know what I'm saying? I'm not that great. I'm not a great person. I did a horrible thing. And so it's all about, that self view and that self talk.
Right. Because then you have to look at why you made the decision you made, and you have to look at your friends and neighbors and family, and maybe yourself, the people who are being affected by that decision. And so, yeah, denial is a good place to be, because I don't want to see what is going on for real. I don't want to. It's fear. I'm stuck here because if I really look at the big picture, it's not a good look. You know what I mean? So denial is the first one. The next one is anger. And so with anger comes frustration, irritation, and anxiety. I feel like that's going on a lot in the world right now. Like, people are easily angered, easily irritated. Everybody hold on
Crashing
to their
out.
baby.
Crashing
I
out.
have so
Yeah.
many crash outs all my life, and it's all connected. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's so connected, because I think for them right now, denial and anger is a deflection type of thing, because it is automatic. Like, when you get the truth, faced with the truth, it's either insult or just crash out and just start name calling and things like that, and they just spaz
Exactly.
out.
It is
It's
deflection for sure.
it is deflection. Yeah.
And they're frustrated because they don't have the tools to tell you that you're wrong, to prove that you're wrong. They know the truth deep down inside. You know what I mean? So I'm frustrated. I don't know what to do with this.
All the
And the
way.
whole thing. Go on, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. All the way to the point where I've heard for 2 days the exact same comment. Black people are only 13% of the country, but they make up over 50% of the crimes. That is statistically impossible. You carry the one times 15. It's impossible. And they don't even realize that. They
And I
don't
try to tell them.
realize it, but
I
they
was
don't
like,
want
do
to
you
hear it.
know they would have to commit, like, it averaged out to about over 800 crimes per
Per
every
person.
Black person in the country to even get up to. It's so ridiculous, but because they hear one thing, they think, oh, that's good against another person. That's something I can get in my argument. So I want to deflect from the truth that you're talking about. And I just want to
Hmm.
give you something to make you feel bad because you're a Black person. You see me.
Exactly. Exactly.
I'm gonna deflect and make you. I'm not as bad because your people.
Exactly.
Dude, how? But
Exactly.
let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. You're listening to Our Plugs, a community connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We'll be right back.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC is your one-stop shop for a wide variety of customized items. So bling out your Crocs, customize that cutting board, get you custom dominoes. Stop by and we will customize your order today. We can be found on Etsy and Our Plugs LLC. I'll be waiting to customize your order. All you need to do is place it.
Welcome to Morningstar Boutique, where the sun is shining and the style is all about you, your beauty, confidence, and individuality. Whether that's your perfect summer dress, a chic jumpsuit, or outfit you didn't know you needed, we've got you. Stop by ourplugs.com and check us out. We'll see you soon.
Hi, I'm Tori G, owner www.saysomething.biz, and let's say something together.
Today we're talking about grief. We've got our experts here, and we were right on subject number 2, I believe, right, Nikki? Okay, so we're going to pick right back up. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys have the floor. Nikki, you're on mute. Yes, ma'am.
I was ready too. Okay, the next one is bargaining. So with bargaining, you start to become overwhelmed. You start to feel helpless. You may start to have some hostility towards the situation, and you go into flight mode. So we're all equipped with that fight, flight, or freeze, to help us get out of situations, and so we don't have to think about it. So you might go into that mode where you again don't want to deal with it, and you're kind of leaving the situation. You know what I mean? So that's the next one is bargaining. It's like kind of like you start to pray about, Lord, if this could happen, let me get my job back, or let me get this back, and then I promise I'll do this, that sort of thing.
And I feel there's more people doing that right now quietly, because as we've all stated, they went so far. I think it was Reggie saying it. Some people have in this particular situation, when it comes to this bill, this big garbage bill, they have ridden this person till the wheels fall off, and the wheels are falling off now. And the reality is settling in, because they're hearing different people, not only from us, but they're also talking, believe it or not, they probably hearing it from other people saying, this is not going to be good for us. This is not going to be good, and now they're worried. They're trying to bargain, like, what can I do now? Like, how can I get myself out of this? Or what do I need to go back to work? Some people can't work physically,
They're trying to figure it out.
They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you can only hide the pregnancy for so long. Eventually
Great
the
metaphor,
baby.
exactly.
You got a baby.
Eventually, the baby's gonna come.
Baby's gonna
and
come.
everybody's gonna know.
I think they're finding
what
ways.
you did.
I think they're trying to find ways to cope, because it's easy to come into, for instance, my life, and I don't look like you, right? So you're gonna already negate half of the things I say because I'm a Black woman and you're not. But when you're around your peers or people that are higher than you or respected by you, and you start hearing them say the same things that you heard me say, it's going to ring a little more true when you hear it from someone that you respect, so to speak. So then it kind of makes you panic in your mind, like, wait, now, see, I just was adamant this is definitely not happening. But then I keep listening to these people, and I keep hearing it. Like Ms. Morningstar said, you keep hearing it from other people. Reality is going to sit in. Like you said, Reggie, you can't hide the baby for too long. And I think that's what's got them all windmilling. They talk brave, but they're not.
I mean, keep in mind that they were going to, before this big bill was even introduced to the public, because, it's been in the making for them. They were going to town halls, and they were raising all types of hell with their
representatives.
Thank you, Reggie. So now, imagine how those town halls, if they even have them, are going to look. Because think about it, before last month, a month before, they were yelling at them and going off, and no, you're taking away jobs. Now you're taking it directly from me. And you said that it wasn't going to happen this way.
And it was borderline violent then. What do you think's going to happen now? I mean, it's about to be.
You know what's going to be ugly?
Pull them things out.
The day someone actually loses.
Trust me, people. They will. Trust me.
The day someone actually loses part of their Medicaid and Medicare benefit, something that really hits reality, is when we're going to start seeing more of what you just said, Reggie. Because then it's going to hit them. They can no longer fight. The check has been reduced.
The baby's coming.
Check may be reduced. So now it's like, I can't even afford my bills. And this is what I voted for. Because what they're saying is, I'm getting exactly what I voted for. You will. You will.
You will.
And they said it will take up to 2 or 3 years for some of the stuff to come in, to happen. So people might live in a denial place for a while because it may not happen right away. But I do feel like collectively we will be grieving because it's going to be a lot of foolishness happening.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm going
For sure.
to mind my
Some people
black-owned
got
business.
fired
To
already.
be honest,
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna take long.
Me
I
I
really
don't either.
feel that it's already happening because some people are already being denied certain coverages that they used to for their
Right.
care, and now medications are not the same prices any longer. People are paying more with less money.
Yep.
These food prices are going up.
It's a perfect storm.
yeah,
Exactly, with less money, people are having to pay more expenses. It is already
It is crazy.
transitioning.
yeah.
And
What the rent
yeah,
price?
what's your next one, Nikki? Because I feel like we
The
And
next
some
one.
people lost their job before all of this.
The next.
Mm-hmm.
So depression is the next one, and you're starting to struggle to find meaning in everything. You're reaching out to others. You're trying to tell your story to other people to try to help define what's happening and to find meaning in everything that's going on in the world. So I think that's a huge one.
I do too. Not only is it, and you have to think about the stages of depression. Once that depression hits, and they realize that I put myself here. The one thing that I've noticed that a lot of people can't do is they can't take responsibility for their own actions. They can't. I have yet to hear the man with the dead hand not one time be held accountable or even say, yes, this was on me. And they follow him, they act just like him, they believe in him, so they don't see him taking responsibility and being held accountable for his actions. So they think, for whatever reason, they think that they are part of him. They actually think that they are just like him.
Because it's validation, DJ Kitty. It's validation.
Well, yeah, it's validation that you are insane.
I was gonna say mental
He already
illness.
validated their hate. So
It's
Yes,
well,
got you
it's
forward.
it's validation in that, okay, he's powerful. So if I align myself with him, I'm exerting some element of power via this instrument, via
Is
this
that
representation.
why
You see
they
what I'm
call
saying?
him Daddy?
AKA
Well,
delusional.
well, it's all dysfunction.
They are
It's
calling this
dysfunction.
man Daddy, and they are grown men calling this man Daddy, and that's it. They think that they are part
That's the
of him.
cult part.
Exactly.
And
That's
then
the cult-like mindset part right there. Because you can't
Mm-hmm.
make the reason for that outside of you're in a cult to believe that the things that they believe along with the things
Mm-hmm.
that they call him and say,
Mm-hmm.
you can't
Mm-hmm.
make rhyme nor reason of it. So you just gotta lump it all in with that's part of the cult.
Right.
Because who does that? These people literally will not research. They just take somebody else's word.
Mhm.
That's not
But
saying already.
but
to
you guys,
think
a lot of stuff that's being said these days or done these days are things that people said quietly. They didn't say the quiet part out loud, and now that's being said out loud. So that validates people and how they felt. I've been feeling like this for years, but I wasn't able to say it, but now I can.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
But
They
this
need not
is
to say it anymore.
but to think, everybody, this is all part of grief.
Mm-hmm.
This is their grief, their grief. And
Right.
this is a lot of people's different versions of grief.
Because
But
to your
just
point, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say just we are living in a real life example of it right now.
Mm-hmm.
And in a sense, we all are experiencing a form of grief. I will say that I know I am. And I haven't lost my job, but things have definitely changed.
Exactly.
And
Yes.
it does not, and it puts me in a state of grief sometimes where I'm feeling down about work. And I never
Mm-hmm.
used to feel that way.
And
We
that's
Mm-hmm.
have a lot of unnecessary worry right
yeah.
now for things.
Yep. And that's why I wanted to talk about this because I don't think people can put a name to it. People are feeling heavy and they don't know why. And this is why. They're grieving.
Yeah, into Miss going back to Miss Morningstar's point, is that our entire societal structure is built on the perpetuating narrative of loss. Okay, you are not valuable because, and then it gives you a whole bunch of different reasons. So now we're looking at the absence of value or the loss of your own worth, and then they say, okay, unless you acquire it, okay, you've got to do this and you got to do this and you got to do this. You got to buy this and you got to buy this. You got to get the Gucci. You got to have $1 million in the bank. You got to, all of these prerequisites, right? And then when people can't meet those measures, once again, it's like, I didn't meet the measure. So it's back to how I see myself. And so if I didn't meet the measure, then I must not be worth that much,
Right.
because that's the standard for me to feel valuable. And so what is essentially happening is that within our societal model, that you've got to acquire it, achieve it, or you've got to have some group or industry or fad or whatever it is approve you. What happens within that model then is that it literally skews you. It literally points you and drives you away from any ability to become aware of who you are and what your value is. So what you're doing, in essence, to your point, Miss Morningstar, is we're operating in loss. We're operating in pain. And so you talk about all these problems: racism, discrimination, gun violence. It's people who are in pain, pouring their pain into themselves, back into themselves, and out onto each other.
And
And that just cycles. Yeah.
at the very least, we're grieving the loss of the way our lives used to be or what we're accustomed to. So I think at the very least in the country in general, we all have that in common. In some way, shape, form, or fashion, we've all lost something, that we're used to having, or a way that we're used to being able to do things. So that's why I think this is important. And then the last one is acceptance, where you start to explore new ways to live. You start to look at new options, and you start to try to move on or make a new normal. And so that's the hardest one to do. And with all these 5 stages, um, they don't go in order. It's not like, oh yeah, I looked up and today I'm angry. I'm in anger stage. Good, I'm moving through this. You could start in denial, go to bargaining, go back to anger. So it doesn't go in order. So I think that's a big, huge piece to understand about it.
I agree with that. Some days are better than others. I can tell you that, and that's just being normal.
Mm-hmm.
But when we come across those days where it's a struggle, and I'm speaking for everyone because no one's exempt from this. We have to pull back and rely on our own understanding and rely on knowing that, as my mama, her favorite saying, this too shall pass. We're not always going to be in the state of confusion here in America with a triple K. We're not always going to be in a place where, we have a quote unquote president who we know doesn't care about anyone. And those around us who aren't like us think that, oh, he still cares about me, not realizing that you're included. He doesn't care about you either. And it kind of strikes fear in the Black and brown community because we know, okay, let's talk about it. We know how they are when they get upset and they lash out. And they don't lash out and hurt others. They tend to blame us for their own misguided, delusional fantasy, thinking that they were going to get an invite to Mar-a-Lago and Trump was going to be their daddy and, they were going to have the best life ever because he's in office. Not understanding that you will still be going home to that double wide. Your food will be a little bit sparser. maybe just maybe make friends with your neighbors and y'all come together, maybe can swap and maybe start a community garden, but they don't want to hear that. It's all out of hate. If you can cheer about people being put into tents and cages, these are men, women, children, being put into cages in alligator Alcatraz because this person that you call your zaddy wants to put them there because he hates the same people you hate, we aren't safe. And I don't say that lightly. I mean that wholeheartedly.
Kitty, I agree with you 1,000% because really, like I know Reggie has said it in the past, hurt people hurt people. And the thing is that these type of people that are grieving this way, this is nothing new. This is just a new version of them. Okay. They come from people who hurt people for decades, for centuries, for years, thousands of years, where back in the 1500s when they were trafficking human beings because they were mediocre, and they tried to switch it onto our ancestors as if we were bad people, and make, because of what they do or what they have done or what they did, their bad deeds turned into our bad deeds. We didn't it was like reverse psychology in a sense. Well, we're hitting them with whips, we're beating them, we're raping their women and assaulting these children. We know it's wrong, but this is what they like to do. This is who they are. And it's always been that projection throughout time. It's like the narrative never switched. And that's why they can say stupid stuff like, it's 13% of y'all, but y'all commit 50% of the crimes. It's because they have been embedded and programmed that brown, black, different skin color are bad.
Yes.
And this is all based off of their own grief. I mean, this is a good topic, y'all.
Their own lack.
Really, we looking at grief I know I'm personally looking at grief now in a whole nother psychological way. It's not just like you said about losing a loved one or, in death. It's about just everyday life.
They're grieving the loss of themselves. They're grieving the loss of their ability to see who they are, to know who they are, and to experience their own worth. I mean, that's the core.
And then
everything comes from that.
I'm sorry. They're going to have one more day of realization. And it's going to come when they keep doing all these hateful things, like putting people in cages and all these, when they realize there's nothing they're going to get from it. There's no gratification for you. You didn't gain any cheaper prices. You didn't gain anything from this harsh treatment.
You know what, you guys, it's just like this. It's like all the fans, right, who cheer for their teams, right? All the people who are cheering for this administration. But when the team wins, they get a ring and they get a bonus, and you don't get nothing.
You don't get nothing.
You see what I'm saying?
We go right back to our regular lives.
Exactly. Like all that brag, all you get is some bragging rights for a minute, because it still doesn't change your life at all.
Y'all lost.
That's why they yell.
Y'all lost. Y'all
That's
still
why
lost.
they yell that. Y'all lost. Y'all crying.
It's that mentality.
That's true.
You didn't get no championship ring. You didn't get nothing. All you got was the ability to say, what? Y'all, you got a bragging right. That's it. That's all you got.
Think about all the stuff you have said, and as far as loss and stuff, all this, the way you described it on here, you have to live in denial. If you come to grips, if you allow yourself to really look at the reality, think of how heavy that's going to be.
Exactly.
Pressed you're going to feel. So you have to live over there in denial. You have to be over there and repeat all these talking points and stuff, because you have to continue to believe that in order to get up every day.
Right.
So the next part is, what can we do? We got to do something. What can we do? So there's something that's called the tasks of mourning. And when you talk about the task of mourning, there's like a couple of three parts to it. The first part is to accept the reality of the loss, right? So when you get to that acceptance phase, and you look at how you've been thinking about it. And like Miss Morningstar said earlier, you're going to start to try to reframe that the way that you're looking at it, right? So maybe I lost my job, but it's not I lost my job and what am I going to do? Now it's I lost my job and you know what? I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to do, teach, or I always wanted to do something else. I'm going to try that. I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go get a certification. I'm going to maybe sell my art. So it's coming up with now I've accepted where I'm at and I can see it for what it is. And I'm going to deal with those strong emotions that I'm getting. But now I'm going to try to reframe the way I'm thinking about it. And you can't just go from, you're depressed because you lost your job to rainbows and butterflies, because you're not going to believe that. So it has to be a step, and it may take more than one in that direction to I lost my job and start maybe looking at what else could I do. You're not going to go from I lost my job to I started this business tomorrow. So it needs to be something that you can believe when you're, coming up with that thought that you're going to replace it with, that replacement thought. You need to be able to believe it. It can't be rainbows and butterflies, because then you're back to denial.
So it needs to be realistic, pretty much.
Right.
When you finally accept, hey, okay, and you start planning, do some writing, figure out steps, things that you can do, and choices, so that you don't jump right into something and then that's not really what you wanted to do, like taking another job that may be stressful or something like that. I got you.
And then you're back to going back through loss because you're over. So that's the first part. The second part is processing the pain, like you were talking about earlier, Reggie, of the grief. So you're going to start to process that. And there's several different parts of that. And so you're not going to avoid the strong emotions that we talked about you might have anymore. You're going to start to deal with those, start to let those come in, feel them, and figure out coping skills to get through that. And then you're going to roll with the changes in your routine, because your routine is definitely going to change, so you're going to start to go through that and accept and adjust to some of those changes. And so also, there's three different parts to that. The internal adjustments, that would be like your self-esteem and your self-worth and who you are, right? So that's an internal one. I am a therapist. I am a social worker to the core. I've been doing this a long time. So, losing that, I'd be like, oh, that's who I am. That's who everybody else thinks I am too. I told y'all people always say I'm a social worker now. So, that might be a part of my core. That might be a part of my self-worth and my self-esteem. And so to lose being able to do social work, that might put me in a place where I don't know what to do now with myself, because I've been doing this for over 20 years. What in the world do I do next? But in working through this, I come up with, here's the skills I have, though. No one can take those skills away. I can put that into something different. So that's the internal part. The next one is external adjustment. Did somebody want to say something? Okay, the next one is external adjustments. So it's like taking on new roles and developing new skills. So that's what I was talking about, maybe going to get some certifications. A lot of states still have where you can go to like career resource places and they can help you get a certification or something, a job skills training place. Or, maybe I want to do IT now, so you're just kind of looking at your situation and what you lost. And how do I build a new routine that makes me feel good about myself again, that makes me feel like I'm moving forward with things? So it's all about trying to move forward. And then the next one is your spiritual adjustments, because a lot of times we're questioning at bargaining stage or in other stages, why, God, why is this happening? Like, I'm a good person. I do everything you've asked me to do. I'm good to people. Why is this happening to me? So sometimes you might take a spiritual hit with loss. And so now you got to get back to, repairing that, because sometimes that's a big part of people's lives. So spiritual is another adjustment. And then also your spirituality and the way that you look at the world are kind of connected. So now this is a new world that I'm in. We all are living right now in a country that we don't recognize. So how do I get through that? How can I make it so that every day I'm giving myself grace and I'm getting through the other side and feeling better about myself and what's going on in my life? How do I make a new life, you know what I mean? And not the one that I'm.
These are
I'm glad
so
you said
good.
that. I'm sorry.
I was just saying, these are so good. These are so beneficial. We have to now that we've identified that this not only is happening in real time today, but you're also offering solutions, and you're helping our listeners prepare themselves. So I think this is an awesome topic. But go ahead, Ms. Jack. We've got a few minutes left before we have to wrap the show. Is that thunder? Wow.
I didn't think y'all could hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was us the other day.
Us yesterday.
Okay. I was just gonna say what she said. We have to, and I need to practice more, giving ourselves grace. We're fighting. When I'm on my live, I feel like I'm fighting to give people information that they're not going to find anywhere else. And I know I'm fighting a losing battle because some of them just aren't going to hear it regardless. But we got to understand, I got to give myself grace because sometimes I get upset that people don't get it, so I don't want to feel like I'm just fighting for no reason, but I know what I'm doing is the right thing. So I got to start giving myself some grace too. So
stop arguing with them people.
Let
them fall. Let me hush. We'll go on mute. Y'all go ahead and say your last 15, 30 seconds. No, about 15 seconds because we're going to wrap the show. I think this was very needed. Very, very needed. So thank you, Miss Nikki. This was an awesome topic and looking at grief in a different way, and especially today. Who knew? Let's go ahead and start with you, Miss Jack. Any last? Did we get through all of them?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Any last words, Mrs. Jack?
Just to go about your life, taking the hits, as we call them, taking the hits and finding ways to go around the hits. Because sometimes we're gonna have to duck and dodge, but sometimes you got to learn how to run right through them. And I'm in the process of running through them. And so if this bill comes the way it is, just learn how to prepare yourself and have a backup plan.
Absolutely. Reggie, go ahead.
Something that I taught my grandson, and so I just made up this little phrase, and it says, in every situation, there's information. When you extract the information, it becomes knowledge, and knowledge is your power. Even pain has a purpose. It is designed to bring you information. Look at what you can learn from what you're experiencing. Extract it, get the knowledge, let that knowledge empower you, and know that when you share that knowledge, it becomes purpose because it empowers others.
Absolutely. I love that. Mrs. Nikki, thank you so much. Any last words?
I think the last thing I want to say is to give yourself some grace, give your other people grace, because life is life, and for everybody, you're not the only one, and just find a positive way to get through this and take care of yourself.
Absolutely. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Miss Morningstar.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. This was an awesome show, actually, to look at grief and the way we are looking at it now, because I think pretty much of us all in here will never look at grief the same way, in just one way. We'll look at it in a multiple amounts of different ways of looking at it. Thank you, chat, for coming through. I see each and every one of you. We love you. Thank you for being here. I see you, Coach Nikki, in the comments. She gave some awesome information on Monday about how you can, start journaling things about your life. So that was a great show. And thank you, WKRA, in the audience. Y'all have a wonderful Hump Wednesday, Hump Day. We almost there.
I want to thank everybody for showing up and showing out today. Tomorrow we will be on with Ziva Carter, and she's going to have her brother on, and they're going to talk about something cool and fun that his company does, which I'm looking forward to. So we're going to lighten it up just a tad bit. Thank you so much, WKRA 92.7 The Change, for allowing us this platform. We truly appreciate you. Family, our WKRA family, you guys go out and be great and enjoy this hump day, and don't let anybody steal your bike or get you down.
That's right.
Hey y'all, it's DJ Kitty.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.